It's so much easier to chat about things that are currently going on in my life. So in this video, I will be doing exactly that. And in case you're new, I'm Chantal and this is my personal channel. And I also have another one called Fresh is Real. And on that channel, I share plant-based and allergen-friendly recipes. Overall, I feel okay lately, but in the past couple of weeks, I have had a few off days, and usually that is because of possibly overdoing it or just doing too much of a good thing. For example, exercise. And in my last video, I kind of shared my struggles about exercise. So if you want to watch it, you can go check it out after. And food at times also like triggers some of my weird symptoms, and it can be kind of frustrating. And I feel that for myself, a lot of what I've been dealing with the past few months has to do with thyroid and hormonal imbalances. Since experiencing some really strange symptoms sometime just before the summer, my naturopath and my nurse practitioner were helping me to pay closer attention to what was throwing my body off. And often for many women, your thyroid and or your hormones, in French on dit hormones, so my French is kicking in, the imbalances can kind of make certain things or issues a little bit worse depending on what you're trying to do to make it feel better. My estrogen levels are always like really, really high, and my progesterone is too low. And at times I've tried progesterone cream, which is applied topically on your arms, for example, before bedtime, but I honestly can't say that it made a big difference. So I kind of stopped taking it. As for my thyroid, I've been trying to help it as naturally as possible, but it's still sluggish and it's still struggling. But then again, like I said, before the summer when I was experiencing some issues, I'm pretty sure it was because of the cyst that they found on my ovary. And eventually it resolved itself, but then they discovered through a couple of ultrasounds that I had adenomyosis, which is basically endometriosis of your uterine wall. And because of that, and because hormones can have a big say or play in what is going on with your woman parts and your cycle, I think it was my nurse practitioner suggested that I try progesterone again, but this time taken orally. What was forgotten to, I wasn't informed on the best way to take it. It just said to take some every night before bedtime. But I started feeling kind of like unwell. So because of that reason, I started reading up about progesterone and when it's best to be taken. And often they say from like the second half of your cycle, it's at night to take the dose that is recommended to you. But so I started taking it, I think it was right after a cycle. So it kind of didn't make sense that I took it it was actually before a cycle. So then my cycle didn't happen and it was kind of pushed till later. So in my mind, I was like, oh, it must be the progesterone that's making me not have my cycle on time. Anyways, so then I contacted my naturopath. I'm like, is it normal that I'm feeling like really yucky because of the progesterone? And she and I decided that in the future, if I was to continue taking it, to only take it from like day 14 up until your next period. So basically for 2 weeks before you start your period. Anyways, so I'm almost done the bottle that was given to me, and I can't say that it's helped me feel better because I feel like I've had lots of bloating and cramps, constantly cramps. And anyways, at times it felt really weird, but that could be because of the adenomyosis, which can cause just swelling, bloating, and discomforts in your lower pelvic area. But one thing I did notice, and I don't think this has to do with my thyroid, but it could be, but I haven't changed anything I was doing for that. But the only difference, I was taking the progesterone oil, and I feel like my hair actually started growing again. You can't see it here because I kind of like straightened my hair today, but if I like flip it over, I can see all the hair growing back in, which is kind of exciting because I would have to say that my hair, I don't feel like it has grown in more in the last, oh my gosh, at least 2 years. At times before that, I could see like I'd have times throughout the year where my hair fall out, but I would see it grow again. But lately I feel like I actually can see some growth, which is good. Like I have a lot of hair, but it's thin. But anyways, so maybe that's one thing that the progesterone has helped. It has lowered my estrogen, has increased my progesterone levels a little bit, which can hopefully help to make my cycles a bit less painful. I think I'll create another video to talk more about adenomyosis on its own because it's a fairly new thing for me, and again, it makes a lot of sense for what I've been feeling. I test my thyroid levels probably every couple months, usually because I'm testing for other things, and it's been consistently okay, not great, but okay. But then this week I went for a test, and both my T3 and my TSH were flagged as abnormal. My TSH now is way too low, and my T3 was considered high. I'm not like an expert in thyroid issues, but maybe that's what's also creating or giving me some of the extra symptoms I've been having lately. But again, thyroid, hormones, it's all kind of connected, so they kind of either help each other out or they kind of tend to freak out at the same time. And I said it in my last video, but stress, as soon as you get a spike in like overwhelm or stress or just too much going on, it definitely has a play in how you feel. So you have to find a way to manage that and get a better control. And I think I'm doing my best. I keep trying different things, but anyways, I guess I'll have to see what the naturopath says, and or maybe decrease my natural desiccated thyroid to see if it can balance it, or just wait till we test it again to see if that was just a fluke and it was just out of the normal range. I have to also note that I think the first few times that I got tested for my thyroid was probably during pregnancy, because I think that's a common test to have when you are pregnant or trying to get pregnant. And I was always on, like a level that was, I think they call it subclinical. Like it's high, but it's not high enough to be too worried in the eyes of a family doctor. But if you see a naturopath or a functional medicine doctor, they will probably address it because they like the numbers to be low or on the lower side. So for example, your TSH, I think for a lot of women, they feel best around the 2. Anything above 4, 5, 6, even though it's still considered low, can still cause extreme fatigue or just droopy eyes or hair loss or weight gain or bloating or just so many other symptoms. As far as the T3 and T4, I will let you do your research because everyone's so different, and sometimes those numbers can have a huge play into how your TSH levels are as well, or your hormone, your thyroid is behaving. I think that thyroid issues definitely run in families. So if you have a parent or both parents that had thyroid issues, you're most likely going to have them too. So my doctor at some point kept testing me, once or twice a year for my thyroid, and it was always, around 5, but she wouldn't do really much about it. It was just like a wait and see approach. But the problem is, most people wait too long, and then next thing you know, their levels are abnormal. So that's exactly what happened to me after I got tested multiple times. Eventually, I went to see a naturopath instead. She tested me and my numbers were in the red. So that's when I took a closer look at what was going on in order to see if I could help lower that number in order to make me feel better. And it's almost been 2 years now, and I'm still kind of working on that. Yeah, but everything else in your life also contributes to those numbers. So the test I took this week, I had extra tests that I wasn't really familiar with. Even one test was not included because in Ontario, some blood work is obviously covered, but this other test, and I would have to go find the sheet to see what it's got. Actually, I have it here. Anyway, so once I get the results, I can share what it is in another video, but it's testing more like in depth the hormonal issues. Again, it's all like names and things I'm not familiar with, so I will have to let you know what happens with those. But if you're watching this, how do you deal with your hormonal imbalances or even your thyroid issues? Anything you've tried that has helped you, you could share it in the comments, because I'm sure it could possibly, help somebody else that's watching this, because it can be really frustrating at times. And I always say it, but just to know what is causing what symptom. So you have to do what, can help you feel your best. And at the end of my last video, I briefly mentioned an app I was trying. It's called Curable, and it's been very helpful to me. And I think that if you are ready to try something else, not to heal your conditions, but to help your mind and your body let go of certain things that can, add extra weight on your soul. I have to try it for a little bit longer in order to film a video about it, in order to share what I really think about it. But I did sign up for a special account, and if you want to try it, but you don't want to pay the monthly fee, which I think right now is like $6 or $7 a month, just send me an email. I'll put the email address in the video's description. And what I can do is add your name to a list, and that would give you an opportunity to try the app for free for 6 weeks. And that should be long enough for you to figure out if it's helpful or not. And if it is, and you want to sign up after, great. And if you don't, it's completely optional. You do not have to sign up after that if it's not your thing. But a lot of people with chronic symptoms or chronic illness, we have to be open-minded about certain things or trying different approaches to help relieve some pain, reduce or eliminate headaches. And I feel that if I'm very honest, like when I'm overwhelmed and stressed out, even just listening, so the app helps you with education, meditation, some sort of like a journaling exercise. And what's the other thing? Education. There's 4 things. So you can pick what you want to try. But I find even just either lying down and meditating for 10, 15, or 20 minutes, sometimes I fall asleep, but just that calms me so much, because there's a voice guiding you through the process. And it's nice to just focus on something else when you're feeling like you're in a kind of a, overwhelmed mode. So anyways, like I said, I'll share some more information once I get to try it for a little bit longer. But if you want to try it again, just go check out the email address in the description and send me a quick email. And how about you add in the subject line curable, so I know that you're sending me an email for that, so it catches my attention. And then I'll add your email to a list, and you're most likely going to receive a link in your email to try it for 6 weeks for free. I think I blabbed on long enough. It's Friday here. It's sunny. I have a work to do, but I'm having a good day so far. It's been kind of a crazy week. This afternoon, I have a plumber coming in because my faucet in my kitchen broke, and my dishwasher is also broken. So this week, doing the dishes was very interesting. I had to bring in some buckets of water in the sink so I could clean up my kitchen. So yeah, so once I have a new faucet and a new dishwasher, I'll be rocking in the kitchen again. Imagine trying to create or develop recipes when I have no access to water, or just to be able to quickly wash my dishes has been a little bit frustrating, but we will get it figured out. The joys of life anyways. So enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you in the next video. Bye for now. Oh, and don't forget to breathe. Take a deep, nice, long breath. Okay, that's it. I will see you in the next video.